My wife is traveling alone with another man. This story came May 11th, 2023. This feels weird to type out. Imagine how it feels to read it out loud to a camera alone in your room. My 25 male, wife, 24 female, is going on holiday with another guy. I feel like there's a 0% chance that she's cheating on me. I don't think she would ever do that, but I just hate the way that this is making me feel. We have been married for a few years now. Basically, my wife has a new male coworker that she has really enjoyed lately. That's great. I'm all for new friends, regardless of their gender. We haven't really had a relationship with insecurity about friendships of another gender. I have friends that are girls and she has friends that are guys. It's basically always worked for us. Anyway, my wife and this guy have become closer over the past few months that they've worked together. They Snapchat each other and send each other memes all the time. It feels like half the time I'm talking to her, she's really just reacting to these messages. They've also hung out a lot after work, going to get drinks and stuff, often late into the night. I typically don't receive an invite. My wife just goes. She doesn't do it secretly. She just texts me letting me know her plans, but it's a little frustrating that she just goes out without inviting me and often at the last minute, especially knowing that we haven't spent much quality time together in a few weeks. Look, I'm just gonna say it. I'm not trying to be a party pooper, but I will be shocked if she's not cheating on you, because I'm already convinced. Sorry. More recently, my wife and this guy have recently been talking about this cool hike that they want to go on. The only problem is that it would be an overnight trip that they go on, just the two of them. I am bothered by this. I know you can travel with platonic friendships, but I can't help but feel bothered. I really don't believe that she would cheat on me. I just feel like I've been moved to second place by my wife as she goes off and has fun with someone that she enjoys more. Meanwhile, I'm just the guy that does the chores, comforts her, and supports her. It also doesn't help that I've only interacted with this guy a few times, and usually not for very long. So I really don't know him well. How do I handle this situation? I want to be honest and communicate how I'm feeling, but I also don't want to come off as insecure by telling my wife what she can and can't do. I also know that she is looking forward to this trip, and I don't want to take it away from her. I feel like it would be selfish to do so in this situation. If I should just let them go, what do I do with what I'm feeling? I appreciate any help from Reddit. I'm not sure what I expect. Oh, well, we're gonna check out what Reddit is gonna say because I think Reddit's gonna be feeling how I'm feeling right now. All right, some of the comments. Someone commented and said, call me crazy, but perhaps bring up the fact that you would prefer she doesn't have overnight dates with other men. Wild concept. Obviously some sarcasm. OP said, yeah, it doesn't sound crazy at all reading it from someone else. Next comment. So they're sleeping in the same tent or room on this hiking trip? This isn't appropriate, especially since you really haven't met the guy. Has she really never invited you? Why not invite him for a meal or a drink at the house while you're around? I think your wife is being purposefully evasive. Most women know that openness and transparent is important when you're dealing with friends of the opposite sex and your partner. And this doesn't feel like she's doing that. It might not be physical, but it does feel like an emotional affair. Yeah. Like, why can't your husband go on this hike with you guys? Why can't your husband come out for drinks on one of the times? You know what I mean? Like, why?
Why would I? Why?
You have to go on this hike that bad for an overnight stay with this new friend? Next comment. It's not that I've never been invited, but I haven't been in a while. Okay, you did say that you were never invited, so I hung out with them once. I was invited one other time, but I was busy and I couldn't that evening, but that's about the extent. I do agree that maybe it is more emotional. Okay, so you hung out with them once and you were invited another time. I don't know if that changes anything, but next comment. You need to tell her your boundary is not being alone one-on-one in private areas with another of the opposite sex. Assuming this guy is straight, that's a perfectly reasonable boundary. I think it's great if my husband has female friendships in public areas and at work. Heck, he's welcome to grab coffee with a female friend one-on-one or go to a public restaurant, but crossing into a private area like apartments, hotels, campsites, insights just one-on-one is definitely a red flag. Others are making some massive jumps, but you need to figure out if this guy is straight first and then ask your wife honestly how she would feel if you did that with another woman and then establish some boundaries. She may have cheated, but that's for you to find out. If not, at the very least, an emotional boundary was crossed and you two need to communicate. OP said, yeah, I think that's very reasonable. I'm going to have a conversation about boundaries with her. Yes. Especially if you guys are both open to having friendships of the opposite sex. Setting those boundaries and having very open communication is key so that everyone feels comfortable, everyone, feels secure in their bond and their relationship. Oh my gosh, how are you not setting these boundaries? Next comment. I'm quite certain that's what every other husband or wife that has been cheated on has thought, that they're so loyal and they love me, right? Yeah, man, I'm 100% emotional at the very least, and if it hasn't gone physical yet, it will with this camping trip. OP responded to that and said, well then, what do I do? I know that I have to talk to her and figure it out, but if she's cheating or planning to cheat, man, what do I do then? Start packing.
Bye-bye. Bye. Bye-bye.
Next comment. Well, since there is 0% chance that she won't cheat according to you, then what's the issue, bud? The sass is real. OP responded and said, I mean, you checkmated me, I guess. Maybe not 0%. Even if not cheating, it feels pretty awful that she's doing these things with someone else and not spending as much time with me. Why can't you guys go on this hike and camping trip? What do you mean?
What do you mean?
I don't know. It feels very simple, really. Wow, okay, so our first update actually came a year and a half later. We are now at September 25th, my birthday, 2024. It has been a year and a half since I posted. A lot of people considered me a troll or said I was making it up at first. Here's the current update and where things currently stand. It's gonna be long and things aren't fully resolved, but I would still love some advice. I'm really having a difficult time processing how I feel and what to do. I did speak with my wife about the situation regarding her camping trip with her coworker. She immediately started crying at the time when we talked. I was trying to be empathetic. I know she didn't want to miss out on a friendship. She kept saying things like, I hate that you guys don't get along. However, she did apologize and she did back out of the trip. Okay. Things were better for a short period, but then they began hanging out at a similar frequency. We had some conversations about it, but I knew the guy would be moving soon, and I thought things might start to resolve afterwards. The next couple months were difficult. I still felt under-prioritized, and my concerns weren't really heard. She talked about visiting him after he moved, and I mentioned my concerns for that, and she never ended up visiting. This seemed to cause some sort of falling out between them. My wife then changed perspectives and felt that she was a victim of this coworker and that he was treating her weirdly by pursuing her. What? She ended up burning some stuff that he gave to her, including a letter that he had sent after the move. She gets defensive still when this guy comes up in conversation, and it's impossible to talk about. I think they were in love. I don't know. What do you mean? She's so upset about this guy in the friendship that she's burning things and letters. What did the letter say?
I got to know.
He probably was in love with her and was like, you chose to stay with your husband over me and I love you. And I'm just guessing and I could be so wrong, but please prove me wrong. Anyway, conversation/connection with him dies down. In the meantime, my wife has another weird connection with a guy that feels too long to include on this specific post, but this just adds fuel to the fire. And I continue to feel underappreciated and uncared for. Conversations with my wife around the subject are still touchy. After some time, I finally allowed myself to feel my feelings, but it eats at me. I eventually wake up at 3 a.m. stressed, and then I can't go back to sleep. I finally break, and I look at her messages with the old coworker. Obviously, there are a ton of messages, lots of selfies that they've sent back and forth, nothing explicit, sort of flirty vibe to them though, and a lot of how much they appreciate each other. And then text messages a lot later in the night than I thought, saying, "Let me know when you get home safe," at like 4 a.m. Talks about potential future camping trips together and travel, and then referring to a late night they were together at a state park as their not camping trip. Oh. My wife noted having dirt all over her clothes, and the coworker said, "Well, what do you expect when we wrestled?" Oh! And then further, he said, "I wish I could have held you tightly for longer instead of getting angry." I'm telling you, they were in love. Then a text he mentioned describing their night to a coworker, and the coworker being surprised that they didn't have, done the deed. I know this is a lot, and even typing it out, I sort of feel like an idiot. It's just hard for me to imagine a world without her at this point. Sometimes it seems like she really likes me and appreciates me. Other times I feel myself questioning if she regrets marrying me altogether. Sometimes I wonder if it's possible for her to be naive enough to not understand my concerns. How can I communicate so she understands my concerns? I want her to know that it's hurtful. How do I get her to change and apologize? That's what your concern is? To get her to change and apologize? Bro, she literally is like totally cheating in this marriage. To what extent, I'm not sure, but come on now. We're going to the comment section. Comments time. Probably my favorite time. Someone commented and said, "Why in the F are you tolerating this? Dump her, move on." OP said, "It just doesn't feel quite that easy, I guess. Like, we've been together for so long, it's hard to imagine it differently." Understandable. Next comment, confront her about her clear and unmistakable infidelity. What she was doing was cheating. She had an emotional affair with him that was physical to a point, and she knew exactly what she was doing, lied to you consistently, gaslighted you to make you feel controlling, and is now trying to do it again with another coworker. Tell her you're tired of being her second choice in your marriage, and if her choice is to pursue other men and abandon you, she can do it as a single woman alone without you to support her. Let's not forget he did mention there was someone else she has, a weird relationship with that he didn't want to type up. OP said, "I know you're right. It makes me feel horrendous. I feel like I let myself believe things aren't as bad as they were. I just wish it could work out. Like, things used to be good." Things are good until they're not. It's unfair. It sucks. Next comment, you're in denial and it's painfully obvious. She doesn't even need to gaslight you because you're already doing it to yourself. It's clear she's been cheating on you, at least on an emotional level, and yet you refuse to see it. You're letting yourself be walked over, and I wouldn't be surprised if she and her affair partners have been laughing at your expense. What more do you need to wake up? Will you still be in denial when she gets pregnant by someone else, gives you an STD, or you catch her with another man? Her reaction after being rejected by her so-called friend wasn't the reaction of someone losing a friend. It was the reaction of someone getting rejected by a lover. Even he knew she wasn't worth it, so why can't you see that? You need to start therapy, get tested for STDs, and above all, start having some self-respect. Okay. Harsh. OP said, "It is just hard to believe. Like, I just used to feel like I knew her so well, like she would never do anything like this, and I just don't know what to do with it all now. I know these are the things to do, but it doesn't feel so simple." Well, it isn't. It's not easy. Of course, it's easy to say, just leave. It's never that easy, but I do think it's necessary, personally. We have more updates though. This story is far from over, so I'm curious. The next update came 1 month later. We're now at October 26th. 2024. I was in too much denial and I let it slip right under my nose in so many ways. I was a doormat and I was trying not to be that anymore. You can see some of my old posts on my profile, and yes, it's the one with the camping trip that she wanted to take alone with another guy. Oh. I don't know if I really have a satisfying update yet, but people have asked for updates and it's been about a month. I did confront her. We went through a lot of the messages. She wasn't heated or defensive like I expected. She was apologetic and said she was sorry. We have had a few couples counseling sessions since then. She claims nothing physical ever happened. She had excuses for many of the text messages and what they said, explanations to make them sound less damning, but she has had a hard time explaining some of the others in ways that's satisfying. I'll be honest, she apologized the first time we talked, but since then she has deflected a lot. There is a lot of blaming other people and circumstances. She was afraid that she would lose her job, or afraid how it would impact something, or she is this way because of some past trauma, only burned things because her friend wanted to, etc. I need her to own her part of it more. She's denied ever having romantic feelings for him at all. I pointed out things were intimate, and she did agree that it was intimate, but then immediately tried to justify why the intimacy occurred. Things just don't really seem to add up. She keeps telling me she loves me, but how could she do this? I've been a wreck. I'm struggling to function at work, and I have a productive life. I really just want to crawl into a hole. I'm exhausted. I'm able to see friends and enjoy some hobbies. I have been able to forget in that moment, but the pain comes rushing back as soon as it's over. My self-esteem has been shot, and I can't stop feeling like I need to always process and figure it out. She's been out of town for a week and is back soon. I've spiraled a lot, but have also had a really good week in other ways. I'm dreading her coming home. Some of that is dreading having to go through this stuff more, but I think a lot of it is just dreading her in general right now. I don't feel any joy from seeing her right now. I just feel like I'm living in a haze. None of it feels real, to be honest. I'm somehow trying to put one foot in front of the other. I feel so much of it is me looking for people to tell me which to do and what I need. I need to make a decision for myself. I'm leaning towards leaving right now. I've talked with a few friends and it's been helpful, and they have really made me ask the question, what am I getting out of this relationship? And right now, I can't think of much. I'm not sure if I'm hurt, so I'm seeing things from the past negatively, or if the scales have been removed from my eyes. I'm seeing more and more how much I've sacrificed for her, and seeing how she's really not that good of a person, especially not in her interactions with me. But I keep getting stuck in how I would feel like a bad person for leaving, and how I would be hurting her. So I'm trying to get that out of my head, because I shouldn't be concerned with her. I should be concerned with me. Let me know if you can fix me. Well, no, I cannot. We're headed to the comment section now. Someone commented, "Dear OP," which means original poster, in case anyone needs that. "Do you have children? I can't remember the details of your story. If you don't, I would recommend separating temporarily. Distance would do you good and would allow you to see things more clearly. Whether or not they have been intimate is kind of beside the point. At the very least, this is an emotional affair. You don't behave like this if you are in a relationship, and that is just common sense." OP responded and said no children, so that does make things a little bit less complicated.
Hi. Hi, baby. Okay.
She looked at me and walked away. Sassy. Next comment, "Have you received therapy to deal with the issues you have?" OP said, "I have been seeing a therapist. It's been very helpful for me to have a safe place to process. And friends I've talked to have been great at validating and understanding so far. And you're right about salvaging the relationship being the doubt. Some moments, things can still feel normal and even nice, but it never lasts." Next comment, "This is not normal or a happy marriage. Read this sentence over and over until it sinks in. Your wife's relationship with this man is so over the line, I don't care what she has offered. I honestly don't trust a single word out of her mouth. I wouldn't if I were you either. You can't spin the messages. The more you listen to her explanations, the more you're also going to further doubt yourself. You have been asking Reddit for advice, and it looks like it has been years on this topic. Please separate and ideally leave your wife. To me, you do not have a strong enough relationship to warrant your marriage, at least a happy marriage. You both may love each other, but love is not enough. Remember that. Actions speak much louder. Take ownership of this narrative. This is your life. Stand up for your happiness and your peace of mind." All right. OP did respond to that and said, "Thanks, I agree. I am making some bigger moves next week and just making perfectly sure of everything. I'll be surprised if we are still together at all by 2025, but I appreciate your encouragement. I'm doing my best not to care about others and be strong for myself. I have doubts, but they're dwindling more and more every day." Boy! Oh! we got the final update and it was recent. We got a final update a year and a half later, and it came on April 15th, 2026. Put your guesses in. Do you think he was strong enough to leave her? Did they work their issues out in therapy and now they're happily ever after? Did she cheat on him further? Get your guesses in, because we're gonna find out what happens. But first, we're drinking some water, okay? I need a sip before I read this. So too bad. Drink your water. Cheers. Hi again. Just reminding you that if you want to submit a story, the form is officially open, but it will only take up to 100 responses. That way I can work through them. It just works better. That way I'm not missing any. So if you want to get your story in, now is the time, because once it hits 100 responses, it will automatically close. And then of course I will reopen it once we start getting through more. So that's your reminder. It's linked in every video description right at the top. I made sure I've checked it's working, and I've seen a lot of your submissions because I just filmed a video with your stories. So anyways, if you want to get it in, you guys ask me all the time. Now is the time. It's been a while since I updated everyone on my story. After my last post, we did therapy together and individually. We had lots of talks about what happened and where to go from there, about why she felt the need to go outside our marriage. More information came out, and my wife has never been able to fully meet what my needs were. We fought, we argued, and we tried different therapists. Unsurprising to many of you, things never turned out for the better. The two things I needed from her to start off were accountability and accepting new boundaries. She was unable to take accountability. It was always blaming someone or something else for what happened. There were times where it seemed like we were making progress, but then it got to a point where she would take almost no accountability. Suddenly, she never did anything wrong. Instead, she argued that she was a victim of sexual harassment, which then turned into her blaming me for not supporting her when she was a victim, and how she worried I wouldn't be able to support her in the future if something else went wrong, which gave me a moment of feeling a little crazy, but I was able to shake it out. As far as boundaries go, we had talks about her friendships and what they needed to look like. I needed her to greatly reduce her friendships with guys and prioritize our relationship. There was another male friend in particular that caused some issues during this time. When we talked about it, she often seemed agreeable and understanding, but behavior never really seemed to change. Two things in particular were bigger issues that popped up during this time. One involved my birthday, when we both already had the day off. She had let me know beforehand that she had a lot of work she had to do that morning and afternoon, and wouldn't see me much until my birthday dinner that evening. Well, guess who she spent multiple hours with that morning into the afternoon? This new male friend. She showed up at home to me packed up and ready to go out and do some stuff for the day. My ex-wife, okay, plot twist. Thanks for letting us know. Immediately looked as though she knew she messed up and did profusely apologize. She even stated, "I don't know why I keep hurting you." The next event was when she really wanted to go to a concert with this same guy, just the two of them in another city. She ended up not going after multiple conversations and after I told her I wasn't okay with it. But she was not happy at all about it. There is a world where I think forgiveness could have occurred and where I think relationships heal after infidelity, but that is not my story. Eventually, I was able to come to my senses. It took a lot longer and more suffering than it should have, but I am now divorced, which has been a big mishmash of emotions. Some days I feel deeply lonely and sad. Other days I feel optimistic, hopeful, and at peace. Honestly, I never hated my ex-wife, and really, I still don't. I'm still very angry and hurt by what happened, but I never really hated her. And maybe that's naive of me, but the thing that really motivated me to leave was that I was able to love myself and choose what I needed for me. I feel very far away from the person that I was when this first started. I feel a little more confident and free than I have in a really long time. I'm still trying to use this current time to find myself, and I probably will for a while. Not looking to date or anything at the moment. Not sure if marriage or a long-term relationship is ever going to be on the table for me again, which I think I'm oddly okay with. but you're also young. Weren't you like 24 when this started? So much of my identity was in my marriage and being a good partner. It's hard to remember who I was before this and who I am apart from that at times. So that's what I'm discovering now. Plenty of other fighting and weird little stories in the past year or two as well. My family and friends have been overall supportive and made the transition as easy as possible for me. Her mom had a bit of a freak out about the divorce and sent me a lot of long text messages. And my best friend is maybe someone I might cut out. He was very supportive at first. He knew more than anybody what was going on, but he tried to talk me out of the divorce after I already made the decision. He told me I was making a mistake, among other BS, during the time period I needed the most reassurance and support. So yeah, I'm not sure what that friendship is at the moment. I honestly haven't had the energy to care or try to address anything with him. So I guess I'm wondering, any thoughts on if I should even bother addressing it, or should I just cut them off? I appreciate any advice. I don't know. Someone commented and said, your ex moved you in the furniture category, the status where you only help out with their living needs, like pay for her and clean the bathroom. The funny things she was keeping for the others, including the other cleaning. Good riddance, man. Go on with your life and ignore the friends telling you you are making a mistake. They've been listening to your ex hallucinating a bit too much. OP wrote back and said, truly, I was just convenient and helpful, but not someone she really wanted to be with. And yeah, it was kind of crazy to get that response from my friend. He knew about things for a long time and was supportive of the idea until something just changed. Next comment. Oh man, proud of you for getting out and cutting the toxic people out. I just need some additional info if you're okay sharing it. Number 1, what was her reaction when you divorced her? And number 2, is she still in her party phase or settled in another relationship? I was wondering if she went on to date one of these people that she was practically dating the whole time. OP said, well, divorce was something we talked about for a long time, so it wasn't some big, dramatic, unexpected moment for me to share, unfortunately. She accepted it. I think she was on the same page and tired of arguing about this anyway, and I'm not too sure. No relationship that I know of. I think she is trying to move somewhere new. Next comment, how long did it take you to realize and decide that divorce would be the best? Was there a specific moment? I'm glad y'all don't have kids, and I hope things improve greatly for you. He said, I was definitely so thankful to not have had kids. It would have made things even harder. I don't know if there was a specific moment. It was just built up over time of her behavior never changing in the way that I needed. I kept believing that maybe she would wake up or snap out of it. I think one big event is when things started to slide backwards in how she felt about the infidelity. When she changed from agreeing that it was an affair to claiming that she was a victim in the situation, it made it clear that we were too far apart on everything. It felt like she was inching toward me before, but this was running the other way. I am not totally surprised by this ending, but a little bit, because I really did think he was going to continue to keep trying to make it work. And he did for a while, but ended with a divorce. Did you guys guess it right? Let me know all your thoughts and feelings on this one. Stay classy out there. Stay sassy. Bye.